Egal, chat to me, bro.
I'm not gonna lie, Alan put such a smile on my face just to hear his misery. It makes me laugh. You wanna know why, Terry? Because realistically, Chelsea's out, Arsenal's out, Tottenham's out. This means the most of Tottenham because they haven't won a trophy in forever. This is one of their major opportunities. Realistically, Chelsea just recently won the Champions League. Arsenal recently won the FA Cup, so it hurts them more. But going back to the game, Eddie Nketiah scored his goal. By the way, our game wasn't on TV, so I didn't get to really watch the game. So I'm just going to give you my analysis on what I heard in the commentary and what I seen. Eddie Nketiah scored a beautiful goal. I told you guys in the Carabao Cup, Eddie Nketiah scores goals. He does well. In the last couple of years, he has like 11 goals in a couple of years' time in the Carabao Cup. It's quite impressive. But then we never kicked on from there. We scored the opening goal, and then quickly we had our third string goalkeeper playing today, Carl Hein. Both Ramsdale and Matt Turner got to rest. And the poor guy, his first moment of action, he slipped over and then it caused the penalty. And then from there, the second half, we went into the second half and Brighton were all over us. They brought on Pascal Gross. They brought on some of their first teamers and they took the game by the scruff of the neck and they just beat us comprehensively in the second half. They scored 2 goals. You had, and one of the goals was a major mistake from in the second. The third goal was a major mistake leading to Lamptey's goal. But you know what it is? It is what it is. Arteta masterclass. We move on. We lost the cup. We're now gonna focus on the major things this season is focus on the league, focus on the Europa League, and focus on the FA Cup. See how far we can get in all 3 of those competitions. We're out of this competition, and you know what? In the second half of the season after the World Cup, we can just focus on that. And you know what? I genuinely want to ask Terry. I know you're saying don't disrespect the trophy. I'm just asking. Genuinely, how much people actually go into the Carabao Cup season and say, I want my team to win the Carabao Cup? Not a lot of people do that.
So, listen, so in regards to the top 6, we all want to win the Premier League. We all want to win the Champions League. It isn't a conversation where you go, oh, I'm desperate to win it, but I want to win it.
Okay.
It's so I want to win it. And the reason I say that is this. Why do you say you're bigger than Chelsea?
Because we have more major trophies.
Because you got more trophies than them.
Yeah.
It isn't just major trophies, it's more trophies than them. And that's why I say it's important. Do I think it's as important as winning? If you go on to win the league, going out of the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup means nothing. If you come second to win the Europa League, come second to win the FA Cup, you won't remember this. But I still think going out is a disappointment. It's a disappointment if you realize your younger players aren't good enough. It's a disappointment, especially with the tournament opening up tonight. Who knows who gets who in the next round? Maybe Liverpool get City and knock City out, and suddenly you've only got 2 big teams left in it, and you think, wow, what an opportunity to maybe go and win this as an example. So I think you want to win it, but when you're in your position, it is a little different than when you're where Tottenham are, when you're where Liverpool are right now in the league. But it is
Terry,
in my opinion,
I
still
can agree with you.
I've never gone out of the League Cup ever in 36 years, 37 years nearly of my life and not been bothered by it. I've always been annoyed.
Okay. I'm just going to say this to every single one of you Arsenal fans out there. You should not be too upset about today's performance and today's result. One, because we have a bigger goal this season is try to see how far we can get in the other 3 competitions. And at the end of the day, if we were to finish the season with just the League Cup, let's be honest, a lot of the fans will still be disappointed. Realistically, so
But
I'm just looking at it, Terry. Terry, one second. I'm not here to debunk your point.
No, I know you're not. I'm asking you a question. What would you rather? No, what would you rather? Second in the league in the League Cup or second in the league?
Bro, of course you're gonna want to add an extra trophy, but no one is going into this tournament and saying I'm desperate to win the League Cup. Now I get it that a lot of people are. Honestly, forget about that. I'm going to be as blunt as possible. What is the point of the League Cup? What is the real point of the League Cup? Because I don't understand it sometimes. Because a lot of other leagues they don't have 2 domestic what do you call it things? Is this strictly to benefit the teams lesser down to give them more opportunities to play in these cup competitions? If that is the reason, I get it. But realistically, having 2 domestic tournaments, it doesn't really happen in other leagues. Now, that's why I'm looking at the League Cup as like a lesser, because no one else really looks at the League Cup as a major trophy. Everyone looks at the FA Cup, the League Cup, the league, and the Euro.
No one is debunking that it is the smallest of the 4 trophies that the top teams in England could win each year. Nobody is debunking that. You could argue, though, with the quality of Premier League teams in it, it theoretically can be harder to win than the Europa League sometimes. Sometimes, not all the time. Depends who drops down, depends who's in it. But you ain't going to play a team. None of us are going to play a team in the Europa League this year as good as City, are we?
Can I just say,
it doesn't matter how good the teams are.
It's got to mean something. Seven of the
sense,
last 8 winners have been Man City, Chelsea, Man United, the big teams.
Liverpool.
My question to the comment section, Terry.
So
everyone here, Alan.
So it means something to these clubs because they still win it.
My question to everyone is, who genuinely goes into the season saying, I want my team to win the League Cup? That's all I'm saying.
Me, every year.
Yeah, everyone.
I want to win it.
Yeah.
Egal, what you're doing is very clever. You're playing a very clever political game. No one tweets, I'm desperate to win it. But people want to win it. There's a difference. So what you're doing is you're never going to find that weirdo who tweets at the start of the season, I don't want the Champions League. I don't want the Prem. I want the League Cup. You're right in saying that, but you're deflecting here. It is a tournament that everybody wants to win. People pretend they don't when they go out of it. That's what's happened forever, and it's wrong. And for me, it's what. And then what happens is this: when people win it, they go, "Oh yeah, we won." Yeah, but it's a rubbish tournament. No, it's not. When people win it, they start defending it, and that's how you know it's nonsense. I've never gone out of this and not been happy. Equally, though, I understand your point that you've got bigger fish to fry, but I think anyone who says they're not bothered, personally, I think they're lying or they don't understand the traditions of the football here. And if you're supporting a team in England, respect the traditions of that country's football.
We didn't actually get to see the game live on TV, so it would have probably bothered me more if I seen it live. But listen to the commentary, it's a completely different feeling. But to see Chelsea also go out, coincidentally, because they're facing City, and to see Tottenham go out to Nottingham Forest kind of just eases the wound. Because if we were the only team to lose today, it would be a bigger blow. Where Tottenham losing, Chelsea losing, it kind of makes it easier. And also the fact that we're flying in the league, we're first in the league, we're first in our Europa League group. And you know what? We are the team with the most FA Cups. I can go into the rest of the second half of the season knowing that I don't have to worry about the pesky League Cup matches.
Listen, and that's your prerogative. That is your prerogative, my friend, and I understand that. I don't believe you're telling the truth. I believe you're more annoyed to be out than you're letting on. But
you know what? You do have a point in the sense that if you were to win it, voices would change. And I'll put my hand up. I'm shameless as hell. I don't care. But today, I'm laughing at Tottenham and I'm enjoying myself. I don't care. Tottenham lost.
And by the way, that I get because there's a hierarchy to this. Like the reason that I'm laughing at Tottenham, even if my team goes out tomorrow, is I've said all year I don't know if we can win anything. I don't know if we can make the top 4. I don't think we will. I'm talking about Spurs fans that have come on our shows and categorically stated we're winning trophies this year. And if you're below us in the league, you can't even talk about us. And for me, that's crazy when you're, and that sounds so horrible. I said it before. It's like Derek Chisora laughing at Muhammad Ali for losing a fight. That's how I view it.
Just to put it out there, I've never said we're winning trophies. I said I want us to win a trophy this seseason. We should win it.
No, I know you didn't say that out. I would have name dropped you if you had done. Big up Terry. I love EGTV or Egal Talks Football as it's now known. But I am so disappointed in him saying he is not upset about going out of a comp that wins you a trophy, talking about other teams. What's really interesting is I've had like Arsenal fans messaging me in group chats. Like, I've been chatting to Arsenal fans today that wanted to go out so they could focus on the league. And for me, the irony is these are the same Arsenal fans that will have a go at Ligue 1 who wanted his team to lose, get rid of a manager so they could bring a better one in. Now, you could argue Lee was wrong because Arsenal have progressed, but I thought wanting your club to lose for any reason was sacrilegious. Suddenly, it's not sacrilegious because it can lead to further glories. It's funny how people's mindset changes.
Terry, I'm sure I remember Arsenal fans last season saying, "Oh, I'm glad we're out of the competitions. They can guarantee top 4." I'm sure they were saying something similar. And look what happened.
Yeah, but you just literally broke down, man. You just literally broke down why we dropped off last season with your speech earlier when you were talking about squad depth, and now you're bringing it back up, ignoring squad depth. It's kind of hypocritical.
No, I'm just talking about the fact that Arsenal fans were saying, "Oh, we were glad we were out of competitions last season because we can then secure 4th place." And I'm just pointing at the fact you're now saying something similar about coming out of this competition, and I'm just saying, watch out how
it's dead banter.
We'll move on from that because it's been spoken about. And listen, as I say, Gal, I do get your logic. I understand your logic. I agree with elements of what you say. I just don't believe football fans who support the big clubs when they act like it's so nonchalantly and happily to go out of cup competitions. And people will say tonight it's because it's the Mickey Mouse League Cup. But I see people do it with Europa League. I see people do it with the FA Cup. And I'm not saying you see them do it with the Champions League, but if they don't really believe they can win it, I've still seen people murmur it with that. And for me, I've seen it. I've seen it on so many. Well, I don't need to do a poll. I've been doing this for 9 years, and I've seen the comments and heard the opinions. This is not anecdotal.
I think it will be more split, Terry. Because there's a lot of fans that are not top 6 teams. Like a Brighton fan told me yesterday, he doesn't care. He's more focused on the league. And they won. He's probably ecstatic. But realistically, if they lose the next round, he won't really care, because the main focus for some of those other fans in non-top 6 teams would be just to do well in the league and stay up, or actually perform well.
You may say that, but when you speak to fans that support the smaller clubs, yes, they want to stay in the Prem. But like, I remember, and I only heard from maybe 10 to 15 of them phoning into TalkSport, being interviewed outside the stadium. When Wigan won the FA Cup, their fans said, listen, I don't want to go down, but this is the greatest day in the history of our club. And that's what we have to be very respectful of as fans of the giant clubs, is if Brighton win the League Cup, that is the biggest moment in the history. When Swansea won the League Cup, biggest moment in the history of their football club. Birmingham, I'm not too sure about the history because I don't remember what was said at the time. But if Brighton went on from this point to win it, it'd be the biggest moment in their club's history. Even Forest have, of course, done back-to-back Champions Leagues. So it wouldn't be the biggest moment in their history, but it'd be the biggest moment for 30-odd years. Yes, they want to stay in that Premier League. And the riches, this is the crazy part about it. It's the money that they want to stay up for. And then we as fans moan, football's all about money nowadays. And half the reason that people would prioritize staying in the Prem over winning an FA Cup or a League Cup is because of the money. And at the same time, fans get angry about the money being the main focus. I think most people want to win trophies, if we're being honest. I
100% agree.
I was going to do super chat here for a second. Sorry, I said I don't think any team doesn't want the quad. This Arsenal team isn't a quad team, though. We aren't good enough just yet for that. We care about every cup. If we had one today, we would sit here and laugh at Spurs. But I agree with that. I know you can't win the quad, but you could have won this tournament if you went through tonight, and if you come second this year, maybe. I think most people think they're going to come. Arsenal fans think right now that they're thinking second, hopefully first. If you come second and win a League Cup and win the Europa League, what a bloody season! If you come second and don't win a trophy, you're still bloody brilliant, and you'll be happy. But it could have been even better. And again, that's just my mentality, I suppose. I just don't believe the Gooners or the Spurs fans that I've seen on socials today say they wanted to or are happy to be out. There's a very different phrase between we can focus elsewhere and I'm happy not to be in it. I don't believe anyone who says
Were there actually Spurs fans that said that?
I've seen them on the top. We can focus on this now. We've got bigger fish to fry. We're still in the Champions League. It doesn't matter. I don't believe people really believe that. I don't believe.
No, I don't.
For me, it's a defense mechanism for fans. So if they go out, they can have the disclaimer going, "I didn't care about it. It's not a big club, cup deal, or whatever." But them same fans, as soon as they win it, they'll celebrate it like it's the biggest tournament in the world. It's just ridiculous. It's a defense mechanism for fans who, to stop getting banned if they go out of a sport.
Exactly.
No, at the same time, us as Spurs fans, that's disgraceful. We're like downplaying a trophy. We should be wanting to win every single trophy. But I completely agree with you what you're saying. With the money is more important for owners as well, because when we had Jose Mourinho, we were in a cup final. That same competition, we're in the League Cup final, and because he wanted to start his best team. No, he wanted the week before we were playing Southampton, and we still had a chance to get top 4. And he wanted to play a weaker team so he could rest them for the final. And Levy sacked him because of that.